The Round Valley Reservoir and Recreation Area, spanning 2,350 acres across and 180 feet deep, is a summertime staple for swimmers, fishers, sailors, and campers alike. Located just outside of Clinton, erosion of sedimentary rock from the surrounding mountains would carve out this valley. But how did the water get in, and why is it nicknamed the Bermuda Triangle of New Jersey? This story begins with the indigenous Lenape, who inhabited the region for centuries. They were subsistence farmers who lived in a small community of a few hundred. Due to plentiful resources in the area, it is doubted that they ever went to war, and this includes with Europeans. However, Europeans would still acquire the land by practically scamming the Lenape people. You see, ownership of land wasn't practiced in the Lenape culture, as instead, they believed a great spirit owned the land. This contrasted with the Europeans' views on the land ownership, where someone owned every acre of land. Therefore, the Europeans gave the Lenape a series of unfair and confusing deals that caused them to accidentally relinquish all of their land. This is practically a form of forced migration. By the late 1700s, colonizers' Western expansionism forced out the Lenape out of the valley. The new colonial residents formed a small farming-based community. In this community of agrarian living would be a meeting house, schoolhouse, and 24 farms and houses. Over the next 5 generations, these people would form their own local culture, as not much diffused in and out of the valley. In fact, they didn't receive electricity until 1940. But away from this isolated community, a shift was happening. As America was industrializing in the late 19th and 20th century, there was a sudden need for manufacturing jobs in urban areas. This, combined with a nationwide railroad system, increased a phenomenon known as rural to urban migration. In fact, New York City increased its population by half from 1890 to 1900. And you know what's just across the Hudson? Newark, New Jersey, where all your dreams can come true. Newark, Elizabeth, and other cities in the New Jersey metropolitan area found their populations to be booming. But these new people brought new concerns for resource scarcity, particularly for water. In 1929, the Great Depression combined with the second biggest drought in the area forced these cities to tap the limited water supply in North New Jersey. This scared local government officials and prompted them to look for more permanent solutions to their water problem. They weren't just looking for a water source that could support them, but future population growth as well. Incremental progress on the issue was made until 1953, where another drought reignited their fears of scarcity. Eventually, these government officials found Round Valley, which, having a large area and limited population, was exactly what they were looking for. After 3 years of fighting against the local population and lawmakers in the region, the Round Valley Acquisition Act was signed in 1956, with only Hunterdon County voting against it. Almost overnight, appraisers came to buy the 26 houses and 24 farms in Round Valley. From there, they were given 2 choices. Either let the state dismantle your house, or figure out a way to move the house out of the valley. And so, as the saying goes, history repeats itself, as another culture had suffered through forced migration. Back in Newark, one Paul Rigo, an engineer and partner in the firm Rigo & Capon, and Hugh Adonizo, a World War II veteran, former congressman, and mayor of Newark, come into the picture. Before Round Valley, Rigo and his firm had gotten almost every engineering job in Newark and the surrounding area, and this was no coincidence. Over the course of 5 years, Rigo had given $250,000 in kickbacks to Mayor Adonizo. At the same time, separately, the Mafia told Rigo that if he didn't give him 10% of every job, they'd break his legs. This operation of corruption between the local government, Rigo & Capon, and the Mafia would continue until 1964, when it was time to bid on the $50 million pipeline job that would connect the reservoir to Newark. In a shocking twist, Rigo & Capon weren't awarded the bid, causing Rigo's entire system to shut down. While the exact reasons aren't known, the Mafia began sending death threats to Rigo and his family, as they weren't getting their promised money. In addition to all of this, the government officials in Newark began to realize that their population was leveling off, and they wouldn't actually need the water. And so they decided to pull out of the contract with the reservoir. As for the other cities, Rigo spread a rumor saying that the water would be too expensive to cover up why he didn't win, causing other cities to back out of the contract. All of this was being loaded onto Rigo, and as more threats came, he fled to Mexico. There, he became in contact with the U.S. government, where he explained the illegal operations that had been done throughout Newark. Hugh was jailed, and famously told Rigo that he would get him when he got out of jail. He died in 1981. Many members of the Mafia were arrested, and for Rigo, he was put under witness protection until he died in 1990, sad and paranoid. All of this left Round Valley with a bunch of water with no use, and so, from the 1970s, it was used for recreational purposes as we know today. So finally, how does this become the Bermuda Triangle of New Jersey? Well, after it became a recreation center, a surprising amount of death occurred. Approximately 25 drownings of fishermen and sailors would occur. Notably, 6 people were never found. And so, while it's likely that Round Valley's high wind speeds and deep water levels contributed to the death and mystery of these people, what if these are the unintended consequences of the decisions made for Round Valley? What if Round Valley's history of forced migration, pain, and greed is really why the valley kills? Either way, the next time you visit this beloved summer location, know that you're swimming in the tears of families and the blood of people.